Alright, in this video we are showing you what it's like for a trip to the park. So we always start by having Cora use her cane from the car to the playground. This specific playground we had been to many times before, so she's very, very comfortable here. So you can see she gives us her cane, and now it's time for her to play. We like her to have both her hands free. We want her to climb. We want her to explore. We want her to run around just as Kai does. So what we do is we increase our verbal cues. One of us always just kind of keeps an extra eye on her. For instance, if there is a big drop off and she's heading that way, we just verbally tell her, Cora, that's a very big drop. It's not for Cora. And she knows. She turns around or she goes the other way. And when we first get to a park, you'll see she's very, very cautious. She will kind of do a few loops until she gets the layout down. And then after about 10 minutes of playing, she's running around nonstop. You cannot keep up with her. It's amazing to us how quickly she can remember the layout of a new place, such as a playground. It's like she cruises it and creates this map inside of her head, and then she also uses the cues from like Kyler. If he's running, she will follow his voice, or typically we will kind of walk backwards in front of her and she follows our voice on which way to go, because she knows that she's comfortable and she trusts that we're not going to let her get hurt, and so she will follow us until she feels comfortable to do it on her own.
We gotta go to the boat. This way. Whoa, it's the boat. Whoa.
So as you can see here, she's just kind of cruising around. She's getting the layout. This is very common. She could see that there was a change in the floor, and she had associated that as a step. So she sat down to scoot forward. We've been trying to let her on her own figure out if it's a step or not, because that is how she learns. That is how she is going to connect different concepts. Of course, we make sure that it is safe, and if it is truly a step down, that she's not going to get hurt, but we allow her to try herself, and then, okay, Cora, there was flat, you're okay, it's not a step. And it's building her confidence up for her to explore on her own. So you could see in this video, she starts to kind of really pick up her pace. She likes to kind of cruise around. If you watch her head, she pivots because she's keeping everything in her center. So she doesn't turn her eyes. She moves her entire head. And she's off. And she will just do loops around and around. The slide is another one. When we first get to a new park, first she wants to hold your hand as she's moving around, and then after a few minutes she gets comfortable. She wants to go down the slide with you first, and then she'll want to do it again sitting next to you, and after a few times of doing that, then she will feel confident enough to go down on her own, and then that's all she will want to do is go down the slide.
2, 1, go. Come on, I'm at the bottom. Yay! Good job.
Wow.
Good job, Captain Kai.
In this part of the video, something drew her over to the right side, and you can see she's trying to figure out how to get up there. There was 2 ways prior to that she was getting up, either the ramp or the black step. So she's just cruising along, keeping the playground in her view, trying to find that opening. We have, again, tried to let her explore on her own and figure it out because it is very important for her to build her confidence in doing so. So she found it. She knows that's her opening, and that's how she's going to get up to the slide again. And she will then just cruise in a circle around. But as you can see, Cora at the playground is not much different than Kyler at the playground.
What?
We just do have to keep an extra eye on her whenever it just kind of cruises around her, lets her be a 2-year-old. However, we do tell her, verbalize if there is something in harm's way. And she does very, very good at listening to our verbal cues. But the other difference is that she just takes a little bit longer to get more comfortable, whereas Kai, he can get all of this feedback from quickly just glancing around, whereas Cora has to physically be very close to something to see where the openings are or where the ramp is. So it's just things that are in her immediate center rather than distance. So for her, she has to cruise around a little bit more to get the layout, but then she's mapping it all out in her head, and it's incredible to watch. The last thing I wanted to talk about is that even though Cora does not physically have her cane on her while she's on the playground equipment, Andres and I always make sure that we do have it in our hands to alert others that she does have a visual impairment, because this gives her the space that she needs to freely explore. We've been very fortunate so far at the parks that people do give her space to move around freely because she may not see you. And we have noticed that when we do go to a playground that has a lot of kids, Cora gets very overwhelmed and anxious when she is moving around because she will not know that they are there until they are physically right in front of her, and she gets startled. So
Good job, Kai.
another purpose of the white cane is for identification, to let others know that you do have a visual impairment for that much needed space. I hope you guys enjoyed a peek into life with Cora and what it's like going to the park.